Oh, Kings, what are you doing? Come on now. This ain't happening, is it? Man, the Kings are trying their hardest not to be in this play-in push, aren't they? Not sick, not sick. Just got the sniffles. I did miss the Orlando game, and I apologize for that. That game was so bad. That was just a huge blowout right there. That game was hard to watch. And I think that was the wire-to-wire loss that they had, where they never had a lead in the game. And there's not much to bring from that game. This was a team that is not a great shooting team. They're not a good three-point shooting team. And the Kings somehow allowed them to shoot and hit all kinds of threes and shots on the Kings. And the Kings, for some reason, could not shoot at all. So I did miss that game. Not that you missed much if you didn't hear that analysis, but Orlando shot 49 from the field to the Kings 42. Three-pointers was where there was a big deficit. Orlando hit 18 for 46%. Kings only hit 7 three-pointers for 25% out of 28 shooting, and still low amount of shots. Christie wants them shooting 50, so right there alone was an 11 shot difference, which is 33-point difference, and they lost by 30. So that was the big deficit right there, the difference in three-point shooting. And it was just kind of alarming because Orlando doesn't hit a high percentage of threes like that, and the Kings somehow allowed them to do that. They had 31 assists to the Kings 17, and they had 16 turnovers, which is horrible. 17 assists to 16 turnovers. That's a lot of turnovers and not very many assists, and for a bad game all around. So we won't be eye testing that, and we will be just moving on to this other game in Indiana, where they played a little better. In a game where the Sacramento Kings were actually up by 16 points at one point, they were able to fumble this game away by not closing out and playing good defense at the end of the game, and not shooting well either. And the Sacramento Kings lose in Indiana to the Pacers 109-111. And the Sacramento Kings have managed to fall to the 10th place. They've been there for a couple weeks now, losing 2 of their last. They're on a 2-game losing streak, and their record now is 36-39, and have fallen 3 games under 500. That's just something else to me. 19-19 at home and 17-20 away. They are 3-7 in their last 10 games. Hey, and before I get too deep into the video, I ask, please click that like button. Go ahead and click that subscribe button as well. It really helps out the channel, and we're trying to grow the channel so we can do some other fun stuff later. I really appreciate it. And I want to say welcome, YouTube, to all my folks, all my friends, and you Kings fans out there. It's your guy, Jay Woods, aka Shy the Man, and I'm back at you with another episode of The Kings Morning After Midday Cup of Joe with Jay.
I love it.
My cup of Joe today, a little cold. It's like the Kings shooting at the end of that fourth quarter. Thanks for joining me for this Kings analysis. The Kings aren't doing so great right now. They have not been winning very many games, so It's kind of hard to watch and analyze these guys at this time, but I'll go ahead and put it down for you guys. And today is April 2nd, 2025, and the day of the week is Wednesday.
Now gather round, I'm the new fool in town.
That's right, it is West Coast Wednesday.
And my sound's laid down by the underground. I drink a bottle of Hennessy you got on your shelf.
Nah, it's Hump Day Wednesday. Ooh.
So just let me introduce myself. My name is Humpty, pronounced with the umpty. Yo ladies, oh how I like to funk thee. And all the rappers in the top 10, please allow me to bump thee. I'm stepping tall, y'all, and just like Humpty Dumpty,
Hump Day Wednesday.
you're gonna fall when the stereos pump me.
Yep, middle of the week, Wednesday. Wednesday. And my cup of Joe for today is, geez, man, the Kings, I swear that it feels like they're trying their hardest not to make this play-in game. They're like, they cannot hold a lead for anything. They are like a leaky faucet. They cannot hold a lead. Their defense is like a leaky faucet that you just can't control. They just can't stop the leak sometimes at the end of these games. And I know they're playing on the road and they're the road team, but still, geez, you got a 16-point lead in the third quarter and you can't maintain that. And it's been a lot of the same. It's been a lot of that in this. They're 3-7 in the past 10 games, and this has been a lot of that in these past 10 games, where they'll actually get up, they'll be leading or have a good lead, and just can't hold it for anything. Their end of the game defense, their clutch defense, for the Kings is really bad. And they always seem to tighten up. They always seem to tighten up at the end of the games, and all of a sudden they don't do the same things they were doing in the beginning of the game. Or all of a sudden they can't shoot anymore. And it's really concerning to see. And to be all the way honest, it's not a thing that playoff teams do, or good playoff teams do. So, you know, can this team even hold their own in a playing game or playing tournament or even the playoffs? Not the way they're playing right now. To be all the way honest, not the way they're playing right now. They need to step up their individual defense, their team defense, especially at the end of the games where it's the most important, or when you have a lead, when I believe that's how you keep a lead. Once you get up, you know, you get 10, 15 points in the lead, all you really have to do at that point is just play good defense and match point for point, and you're going to win the game. But for a team to overtake you in 2 quarters, less than 2 quarters, you know, a quarter and a half, when you have a 16-point lead, in the end, it was only 2 points, but still, you know, that's 18-point difference in a quarter and a half. You know, you got to be able to hold those leads. You got to be able to maintain those leads. Until the Kings are able to do that, this season is not looking good. You know, now the Suns, you know, they're missing Kevin Durant, so their hopes aren't looking that great either. I'm not convinced. I'm not confident that the Kings can hold back. I mean, the Kings can maintain this 10th place position with the Suns right below them pushing for it, and with the Dallas Mavericks overtaking them recently for the 9th place position. And now the teams that are right above us are the teams we were trying to overtake, like the Timberwolves and the Clippers, have 44 wins and 43 wins, respectively, with only 32 losses. I mean, they're up there competing with 5th place with the Warriors and the Grizzlies. So we've fallen off quite a bit in these past 10 games. It's hurt our standings a lot. We are a game and a half over the Suns. That's a very delicate lead. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. They have lost 4 in a row. But what happens if they get it together? What happens if they string a couple victories together? 3-4 victories together in these last 8 games or so? They'll overtake us. And that would be a very disappointing season for the Kings. So, bottom line, the Kings morning after. Bottom line. Today's bottom line is the Kings defense is they're gonna have to figure it out. And if they can't do it individually, then that's when you need to have good or at least decent team defense. They're gonna have to figure out how to close these games out. As long as they can't close a game out, they're gonna lose every game. They have a little bit of a break coming up with two teams that are in the bottom of the East Coast Division, and the Wizards, and I want to say they also play. So it's the Washington Wizards and the Charlotte Hornets. So they have a little bit of an opportunity to play against teams that have a worse record than them in the Eastern Conference, teams that you think that they'd be able to beat. So they need to use this opportunity to get a couple games in. Remember how to play defense. Remember how to close out games. This is the time to remember those things. They are still on the road, so it's not going to be easy, but they have a chance at it because these teams are not as good as the Kings. And that's my cup of joe. French roast, 1 creamer. I'm going to give you some quick stats. So, Indiana Pacers. Leading scorer was Aaron Nesmith, their forward, with 24 points. And off the bench, Obi Toppin with a big 19 points. Tyrese Halliburton also had 18. Leading assist getter was their starting guard, Tyrese Halliburton. And leading rebounder, they had 3 guys with 7. And their starting center, Thomas Bryant. Their guard, Andrew Nembhard, and Obi Toppin with 7. And for the Sacramento Kings, their leading scorer was their guy, DeMar DeRozan, with a big 31 points. DeMontis also had 25 points. DeMontis with a huge 16 rebound game. No assist for DeMontis. Their leading assist getter was DeMar DeRozan with 8. So leader in points and assists, DeMar DeRozan. It's basically his team at this juncture. Malik Monk came off the bench with 5 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. He dumped in a bunch of good stats. Couldn't really score or shoot that game. It was very hard shooting for Malik Monk for some reason. And then the team stats, both teams shot 46.7 from the field. Kings hit 1 more field goal than the Pacers. 3-pointers. Pacers hit 2 more threes than the Kings. Both teams shot decent. Kings shot 44%, which is really good, but only hit 12 of them. They only shot 27, which Doug Christie says he wants them shooting at least 50 per game. Free throws. Pacers hit about 2 more free throws. They went 100% from free throw, 13 and 13. Rebounds, Kings had 45, Pacers had 40. And assists to turnovers, Kings had 22 and 11, while the Pacers had 28 and 12. A little bit more assists to turnover ratio. And points in the paint, Pacers had 2 more points in the paint. And just from these stats, the game sounds pretty even. And the final was pretty even. But like I said, at one point in the game, the Kings were up 16 in the third quarter. And as you can see, the Pacers never really scored that great. The Kings outscored them in the first. Definitely outscored them in the second. Probably could have did better in the third. But it was the fourth quarter that ended the Kings' hopes of winning this game, and where the Indiana Pacers excelled and took over. Eye test. Let's give the Kings an eye test. Yeah, eye test. My eye test for the day. So for this eye test, we're going to watch from the point in the third when they had their 16-point lead to when they lost it all the way into the fourth, until the end of the game. So right here in this moment of the game, the Kings are leading 76-60 with 6 minutes left in the third quarter.
This is 6 minutes. This is about when you take guys out. So it's something part of what you got to do.
Needless to say, the Kings have had several opportunities to win several of these past 10 games. 3-7 in the past 10 games. They've had opportunities. They've been in leads. They've had leads in almost all of the games. I think one of the games was a wire-to-wire loss. That was to Orlando.
But that was so cool to see.
Yeah.
Inside.
And guys made shots. Levine made shots. DeRozan made shots. Sabonis was making shots. One guy that wasn't making shots was Monk. He was kind of off. And as of late, Keegan Murray has been a lot more aggressive going to the hole, going to the rack, and dunking on guys, which is great. I want to see that. But I feel like he still needs to do it more. He needs to be more aggressive on offense. And at the top of the fourth, you can see they've already whittled it down to 4. Monk was able to pick it up to the 6. DeRozan's been shooting his 3 very well this year. And that's usually not the problem. Usually the offense is not the problem. Scoring is usually not the problem until some critical moments in the fourth when the Kings don't look so clutch. Excellent three-point shooting by Indiana. Bad help by the Kings. We needed some help defense on that one. Right now at this point, that was just a blow by Lyles. I mean, Lyles has to stay in front of the basket. Not enough resistance from DeRozan right there. Halliburton turned real clutch at the end of this game.
DeRozan gets the handoff against Neesmith and hits.
DeRozan hitting his midi clutch game. Kings only up by 3 here. Bad resistance, barely any resistance. Bad help. Defense at the rim. Bad closeout. Bad resistance. Slow closeout. Good shooting by the Pacers. Dance on them. Pacers dancing on them. Halliburton dancing on his old team. And they deserve it. They're up by 7 at this point. DeRozan hit a 3. They're trying to come back, but they're down by 6 with seconds left. Boom. Malik Monk trying to bring him back. Finally hitting the shot at the end of the game. And as usual, offense usually isn't the problem. It's the defense. They couldn't hold them back. They couldn't keep their lead. And that's what it looked like. It should have been more, but as you see, Levine hit a last-second shot that didn't mean much. I want to play what Doug Christie said also.
Fantastic first half. Competed actually really good through 3 quarters. In the fourth quarter, got a little stagnant. 27 3-pointers is just not enough for us to attempt.
That's what I said.
22, going to have to move the ball, but the thing that stands out is the 12 turnovers for 20 points. Got to make sure that, first of all, 12 turnovers isn't a crazy amount in a game, but giving up 20 points off of it. So, give the Pacers credit. I mean,
that says a lot right there. Turnovers into points.
We have to find a way to win ball games as we compete for 3 quarters, 4 quarters, and all of a sudden things get a little bumpy, and we got to make sure that we're able to finish. And tonight, we did not. Well, there was a shots with Toppin that he popped, and guys didn't even have a stick handle. You got to make sure that you're arriving on who that you're guarding. I mean, we cover personnel. They know he wants to get downhill, but also he has the ability to pop and knock down threes. So there just has to be a sense of urgency for everybody. And if there is a screen that's set and you see that your teammate is in a little bit of distress, just lay red. Just call late red and get back, keep bodies in front of bodies, and we live. If there's, a mismatch or, Tyrese had popped a couple times. Actually, he wasn't in the game in that particular instance. If that's the case, get up on him, especially if you're a guard. I mean, he's a big guy. You should be able to keep him in front of you, but we had our hands down, and all of a sudden he's shooting shots, and he found confidence and knocked them down. And that was really a big difference in the game. They shot 41 threes, and we shot 27. If we shoot more, we usually find space. We share the basketball and knock down shots. And tonight, we did through most of the game, and then we got stagnant there, just trying to find our way.
And I would agree with most of what he had to say there. Next up, the Sacramento Kings face off in Washington versus the Wizards. 4 p.m. Pacific time tonight. Be there or be square. And also subscribe to this channel so that you can see my analysis tomorrow, the next day after the game, for another Cup of Joe, where I analyze the Kings, how the Kings did, and hopefully they'll get a win during tonight's game. And the Washington Wizards have Jordan Poole, Alex Sarr, Carlton Carrington, Chris Middleton, Belial Coulibaly, I'm sure I butchered that name, Justin Campani, Marcus Smart, AJ Johnson, Keyshawn George, Corey Kispert, Malcolm Brogdon, Tristan Vukovic, and Sadiq Bey, Kobe Jones, just to name a few guys. They have a little mix of young and old. No clear leader on this team as of yet. Jordan Poole is a guy traded from the Golden State Warriors. A lot of offensive capability. Alex Sarr is a rookie. I want to say he's from France. Chris Middleton is their vet, coming from the championship team Milwaukee Bucks. And they also have ex-King Kobe Jones and Marcus Smart, who is an OG point guard. So, like I said, in my opinion, this team is not as good as the Sacramento Kings team. The Wizards are in exactly last place in the Eastern Conference. They have no chance of making it to a play-in spot at all. They are officially out. They have lost 3 in a row. They are 16-59, and there is no reason that the Kings should lose to this team. Not even in the least bit. And this is a team that the Kings could use as a possible get right game, get back on your feet, get back to winning team, slump buster type team. So Kings got to get in there. They can't half-ass. They'll be away. They need to start off strong, close that first half strong, and then come into that third quarter strong as well. Don't let the team come in, get lose a lead, come in, busting that ass, and then close out the fourth quarter as well. And the Kings can beat this team. Betting lines. All right. For betting lines, I got BetUS here. I like BetUS. It's like a traditional sports book. They have all sports on here. Plus, I like to do boxing on this site too. Whenever there's big boxing coming up for the weekend. And I'm in California. I'm able to sports bet here. And I believe you can use this site to bet in most places in the U.S. So it's a great site to use. I ask that you just use the description, use the link in the description below. And for tonight's games, they have the Los Angeles Clippers at home dominating the Pelicans by 17.5. Then they also have the Nuggets at home, 9.5 favorites over the Spurs. And the Dallas Mavericks at home, 3-point favorites over the Hawks. And that's a very important game for the Kings. Obviously, we want the Mavericks to lose. Same with the Clippers, really. We want the Clippers to lose. We want the Nuggets to lose. Spurs don't have a chance to catch us. Nuggets don't have a chance to catch us. And they have 13. They have the Oklahoma City Thunder winning by 13 over the Pistons as well. So a lot of home games for the Western Conference. They will be active tonight. And so will the Kings. And the Kings line for tonight is they are saying that they should beat the Wizards on the road by 13 points. How do you feel about those lines? You can make bets here by clicking the team you think is going to win. You place your bet, and it tells you how much you win if you place that bet. Like I said, this is Bet US. There's a link in the description below. There's also a link to Prize Picks if you want to try out Prize Picks as well. Those links help out the channel, so use them. Thanks. And I got a question for you guys. How do you guys feel about this team currently? I ask that you make a comment. Make a comment, please. Making comments also help out the channel, help brings eyes to the channel, and helps me kick the algorithm's ass. Do you think the Kings are going to make this play-in push, or do you think they're going to get bumped out the play-in? Answer that question. And if you answer the question before I make the next video, I'll put your comment in the next video. So, cool way to get on my videos. And if you can also, please click that like button. If you're still watching, I must have analyzed the game. You must have enjoyed some of this analysis. There must be some type of entertainment value you're getting from this. So click that like button. Also click the subscribe button. Help your boy out. I need subscribers. We're going to do some more fun stuff like watch party type stuff later. And we also have some good documentary type stuff and some good opinions. So click that subscribe button so you can get some more of this Kings analysis. Subscribe, and also if you can, share the content. Sharing is amazing. If you share this content, I'd really appreciate it. And make a comment. Comments help as well. Thank you. And I got a motivational quote for you guys today. All right, and this quote is from Thomas Edison. And Thomas Edison said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's a good one. That just lets you know you haven't failed. Failure is not failing. Failure is where you learn things. You learn what not to do the next time. And like Thomas Edison said, you learn what doesn't work. I have not failed. I just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Excellent quote from Thomas Edison. And that's pretty much all that I have for you guys today. I really appreciate you joining me. I really appreciate you guys watching this far. If you haven't already, please click that like button, click that subscribe button, make a comment and share. Make sure you're subscribed so you won't miss an episode. That way you get some type of notification after this next game tonight of the next episode of The Kings Morning After Midday Cup of Joe and Jay. And with that, I'm out. But before you go, check out these moves. It's good.